Hello. Worldwide. Hello, beautiful people. Hope you're all feeling good, feeling funky, and feeling ever so fresh. It's your girl, Tolly T.
And just call me Audrey.
Ow. Do you remember the song? I think it starts with worldwide. And she goes, I'm calling his phone up just to tell him how much I really love him, cause it's everything I want. He listens to me, cares for me. But it starts with someone just screaming, worldwide.
No.
I truly believe.
What genre of song is that?
Take me an angel up from above that's gonna love me for life. It gives me perfect only because.
No, I do not know that song.
How can I know all the verses and the chorus comes and I cannot remember it?
I do not even know the song you're talking about, sis.
It'll come to me. You do know it. You absolutely know it. It's like a banger. And it starts with worldwide. I think it screams worldwide or something like that as well. Speaking about music, I do this plea probably every 3 to 5 years. Please, for the love of God, streaming sites, Apple, Spotify. Where else people hear music?
Wherever you get your music.
They have monopolised music listening.
Yes,
and YouTube.
Too, isn't it? YouTube, Deezer.
Is Deezer?
Deezer.
I was like, what is Geezer? I don't know Geezer. Yeah.
I don't know that anyone uses Deezer though.
What about Tidal? Is Tidal still going or Jay-Z sold it?
I've got no idea.
I don't know actually if Tidal's still going. Every so often I remember the press conference they did.
Oh my God, it was so
Nicki
intense. They had all the heavyweight champions.
He's not Kylie, Kanye. And all they're like...
Just like standing there taking it all.
Take over the world.
It was so serious. Oh my God.
I would like to put a plea in again. Please. Maya, take me there. I want to go there. I'm begging you lot, just put it on a streaming site.
I don't. It may actually be on Spotify. No?
The last time I checked, unless it's changed.
No, do you know what? You're right, because I do have that song, but I realised, because I have YouTube Premium, which comes with... I know, I have YouTube Premium, which comes with YouTube Music. So on YouTube Music, you can download videos. So I do have that song in my little, my little streaming things, but it's on YouTube Music, which is basically the video.
That is one of my favourite songs.
But this is so lame, yeah. So basically, do you remember how, I definitely said it on the podcast, that Westlife and Mariah Carey song, Against All Odds? Yeah. And then remember, I did say on this here platform that basically Mariah was really angry at Westlife and removed their vocals from the song.
Oh, yeah, I remember you saying. Is that not true?
Because when I listened to it, their vocals were just not on there. Okay. So I was like, 1 minute it was on there and the next minute it wasn't. So I was like, maybe Mariah's beefing Westlife. Who knows, right?
There's been more weird beefs.
But exactly, weirder beefs. So then I was like, damn, that's petty, but it's Mariah Carey. She probably has that kind of power. But then I stumbled into Westlife TikTok, right? And
how?
Because I don't even know how. Because I'm flying without wings came up, and that's such a banger. Oh my God, that is such. I don't care what anyone says.
It's not their song though.
It is.
Like officially?
Yeah, it's an original. They did a lot of covers, but that's
actually
actually an original, right?
Uptown Girl wasn't
their song. That one definitely wasn't. They did so many covers, yeah. Uptown Girl is also a banger, but that's definitely a cover. But Flying Without Wings is one of their songs, right? So I stumbled across it and I'm always going to watch a Flying Without Wings video. I don't care. I'm going to watch it to the end, yeah? Because Mark Feeney? His voice slaps, right? So anyway, so I watched it and then I stumbled into Westlife TikTok and then all their videos were coming up, right? And then Against All Odds came up, like... So I was watching it and then I commented and I was like, why have their vocals been removed from the song? And then the person that was the creator of that particular page replied and they were like, hey bestie, no, what you've actually got is you've got the miming version or something, and then sent me the link.
Oh my God, what community? What a Westlife community.
I know. And so they sent me a link to the actual song in which Mariah and Westlife have joined forces and they're actually all good and they are fine.
The power of TikTok.
So the power of TikTok bringing people, connecting them to the music that they want is actually...
Do you know how often I catch you slipping in comments?
I'm always in comments.
I honestly be like, girl, what are you doing here?
I'm always in comments. Like, I'm literally always comments.
I saw you the other day. I don't know why I didn't reply to you. I was cackling. Some girl must have done a video about oh my God, why do men always watch music videos? Yeah. This girl was like, why do men always watch music videos? She was like, anytime she goes to a man's house, they are on YouTube watching music videos.
That video was so funny.
It's actually so true.
I was going to bring that up and I completely forgot.
I hardly ever watch music videos unless I'm in a man's house and for some reason they've got back-to-back YouTube playing videos. They must all have premium. And Audrey's like, I'm nearly 40 and I do this all the time.
I said, I'm nearly 40. They've been doing this since MTV Base days.
I was like, Audrey, get out this girl's comments.
No, you will find me in comments. Like, I'm always contributing to the conversation. I reply to people. I comment. I'm fully there. But I do think I shouldn't really do it as me.
No, you don't say anything wild though.
No, I don't say anything wild. Like, I'm not in there like dragging people or whatever. But I do contribute to the conversation.
Anytime I see you, I was like, this girl.
Always there because more time, if a video comes up, it might be because I've commented.
Yeah, probably.
That's the thing I don't like because people can't comment and be thingy in peace, and then it's like going to show the whole world what you're doing. But you know,
I do wish there was a world that I could do some things on the internet that my actual friends didn't see me.
Yeah, man.
Like leave me alone.
Exactly. I just want to do this for the strangers of the world.
I remember like early days, right? Like I remember, I think it was probably like I had my first ever ad, and I messaged my close friends to be like, "Yo, you lot,
let's go like this."
Shut up, innit?
Oh, shut up!
I'm about to do an ad. I don't want to hear pin. I don't want to fucking hear it. Money has to be made. You not to shut up.
Yeah, no. The worst people when you're doing an ad is the people that are like, "Go get this money." I'm like,
no,
you do not understand the assignment.
That's not what you say.
We delete those comments.
You say, "Oh my God, I can't wait to try this."
Exactly.
Wow, that's
Sign
what you
me
say.
Up. That's what you say. You don't say, "Oh, get the bag." I hate when people do that. It really annoys me.
I see you, sis.
I hate when they do that. It's so snaky. Like, why would you do that to me? I'm just out here trying to earn an honest living.
Anyway, that is not what we're here for.
Oh, sorry. One other thing really quickly,
baby.
yeah. So basically...
Oh, God, my breast is...
Oh, I thought it was part of the look.
No, it wasn't.
I follow this page, yeah, but it's basically like a daily prayer page, but they're DMing me too much. Is it bad to unfollow?
Okay, from the top. What platform? And why do they DM you?
So it's called, so they send daily prayers.
Yeah.
It's literally called daily prayers.
Yeah.
But it's more than daily. Do you know what I mean? It's more like hourly prayers.
So I've got a big
I don't want to
right?
unfollow it.
So unfollow it.
That feels bad.
God already knows your heart.
Yeah, he knows.
You might as well have done it because your heart is there.
Damn.
I have this people on TikTok all the time to be like, if you got 1 minute to listen to God, I would have like, fuck off.
Yeah, I know.
You are not going to guilt trip me.
No, honestly,
like,
I do that as well. I feel so bad when they're just like, I've got a prayer for you.
I used to feel bad, but
and I'm just like,
and like no hashtags, no. If this is kind of on your page, this is for you. I think it's important to not just let anyone prophesy on your life.
That's
you don't know me, leave me alone.
That's actually true. You could just be getting hit with strays and you don't even know why.
They just try to guilt trip you as well.
Yeah.
Have you got a minute for God?
Yeah. They always lead with that. I do be scrolling, I can't lie.
No, I don't.
Not right now, sis.
Someone did say though, they were like, if you're in a relationship and the whole day you don't chat to him, nothing, and the only time he talks to you is like 5 minutes before he goes to sleep, would you think that was an okay relationship?
Every day?
Every day. Doesn't talk to you all day, doesn't really chat to you, nothing. Then the most you hear from him is like maybe like 5-10 minutes before he sleeps, he'll just like talk to you quickly and then hang up and go to sleep. Would you be happy with that relationship?
I think when you say it out loud, it feels like a no, but if I were in it, I probably wouldn't.
I mean, the point was for you to say no, because then the answer was, so why can you do that with God? Mr. Mark there. Cool.
It's actually true. No, it's true. No, that is unacceptable.
Anyway, if you're fine with it, it's fine. Should we go for it?
Yeah, let's fire away, babe.
Okay, let's go. Hi, ladies. I hope you are well today. Thank you for reading this, if you do. Before I start, and sorry in advance if this is long, I just want to say congratulations on your new space. You truly deserve it. So proud of how far you've come. I remember having a mini panic when I thought the pod was over. Thank God everything worked out. You've helped me in the past and now I'm back again. Every time you've helped me in one of my dilemmas, I genuinely feel so much better and have so much more clarity. So here's another one.
Okay.
I turned 25 in August and I'm having a slight panic about my life. I've always been on a certain trajectory. I always did well in school, graduated law at university, and I've worked in some of the biggest law firms out of university and working my way and training to be a solicitor until everything fell apart.
Oh, no.
My training contract, 2 years of training to become a lawyer, fell through. I was suddenly unemployed and no jobs wanted me. This has never happened to me before. I ended up working bar jobs to make ends meet, but this fueled my obsession with going out multiple times a week and drinking all the time. I developed a problem and realised I was using it as a coping mechanism. At the backdrop of all of this, I fell out with my family. My mum and stepdad and go through a divorce, and family secrets are coming out. For context, my mum has always confided in me for things that definitely overstepped boundaries as I grew older. I realized that she was emotionally cheating, taking money from me, just so much stuff. She wanted me to keep a secret that she had got back together with my biological dad and wanted me to keep it as a secret from my stepdad so it didn't affect her marital maintenance.
Oh, damn.
I couldn't handle the secrets anymore, so I exploded and stopped talking to her. This is all while my joblessness saga was unfolding. This all happened last year. Me and my mum speak now, but we aren't as close as we used to be. And when it comes to any issues with my biological father, I feel like she defends him all the time. Fast forward to now. And I live with my lovely boyfriend and I'm working again. It's in law, but the pay is not that great. I was too qualified for some roles and underqualified for others. It's been so frustrating, I can't get out of a rut. It's in an area of law I don't even enjoy, and I'm really wondering if it's for me. I'm learning to be a Pilates instructor on the side as I am passionate about health and wellness. However, because of the pay, I can't afford to go to classes regularly anymore. Lidl are actually selling reformer Pilates for £150.
Are they? What, the machines?
Machines,
oh,
yeah.
No way.
And I've had debts that I had to pay off from when I wasn't working. Just feel like I'm in the end of the cycle. I'm really frustrated and I feel worthless. I'm bored in all areas of my life. I've lost friends and I'm struggling to make new ones. And I hate how my career path is stagnant. I really don't know what to do. Do you have any advice? Is 25 too old to start again?
Oh my God. Oh my days.
I might start again tomorrow. I might start again when I'm 50.
Exactly.
You never know. What do I do about my mum? Neither of my parents are uplifting or supportive. I don't really know what to do. Thank you in advance if you do answer. And I'm so sorry for the length. Olds. Is 25 too old to start again?
First of all, absolutely not. I think I've lost count of how many times we've said here that you're never too old to start again.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can do whatever the fuck you want to do at whatever age you want to do it. So that one, let's just forget about that one, because even if you wanted to put age into it, you are very, very young. 25 is so young. You've got all the time in the world. And so don't even worry about that. That one, forget it, park that. All the other things, you know, when they say like, bad things happen in threes or whatever, sometimes it can feel like every aspect of your life is going to shit. And then it just makes it feel so much more overwhelming. And I think we had a similar dilemma like this not that long ago. And what I said to that listener was that you have to take things in parts. I feel like sometimes when we try and tackle everything all at once, it feels like an unattainable goal because you're here, you're there, you're everywhere. And I just feel like you need to laser focus on the things that like you can change quite quickly. Do you know what I mean? So I think when it comes to your parents' relationship, I've always been a big believer in like staying out of grown folks' business. I know like what your mum is doing is very sketchy. Like obviously she's wrong, she's cheating and she's trying to get money out of your stepdad and all the rest of it. I think for me, what I would do with that situation is probably speak to my mum and be like, you need to figure it out, you're wrong, and let her know that you're not in agreement with it. But I feel like you can't take that on when you've got all of this other stuff going on with your life. And I feel like you need to concentrate on your life and kind of let them do what they're doing. So that's something that I would park. I wouldn't really pay too much attention to that. I know it's hard because you obviously have a lot of loyalty to your stepdad and blah, blah, bblah. But I just think that for me, I would focus on you. I would start there. As far as the career thing goes, I think that, you know, there was a point where you had no job. Now you're employed and you're not necessarily happy in that field, but what are you getting out of it? Like, is it going to benefit you in any way, shape or form? Is it actually going to contribute to your career that you want in law? If that is the case, then sometimes you just have to power through. Like I've had so many jobs that I wasn't happy in at the time, but it was paying the bills and I was cracking on. So I think that, again, that is part of life. Like we're not always...
to the next thing.
Exactly, and it absolutely leads to the next thing, because even if you don't end up exactly where you want to be off the back of that, I guarantee you're learning things that you don't even realize that you're learning. So when it comes to the job side of things, I would say, unless you're like really miserable, then leave. Like I would never advocate for anybody staying in a situation where they're really miserable. But I just think that, I don't know.
No, it's not like, to answer your question, no. Like it's 25 is not too old.
Yeah, that one
25 is not too old for anything.
Yeah.
Like I can't actually think of anything that 25 feels too old for.
Nothing.
Like it's you like, and I don't even mean to say this, but like I have the privilege of being older than you and being that like, being able to look back to be like, oh girl, let me tell you one thing. This feeling of not doing enough, I should be doing more with my life, is going to keep coming up. Don't let it start at 25. At least don't burden yourself with that kind of stress until your mid-30s.
Yeah.
Because I promise you, it's going to be such a reoccurring feeling. There is no point burdening yourself with it at 25.
Yeah.
At 25, be as carefree as possible because this is going to come back. You're going to be 30. Something else is going to happen. And I don't know if I'm doing the right thing, blah, 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 blah. You're going to be 35. You're like, oh my God, all my friends are getting married, I have kids. I don't know what I'm doing in my life. You're going to be 40. Oh my God, some of my friends' kids are at secondary school and I'm just started. You're going to be 50. Oh my God, people are retired. I don't even know what retirement plan is. There is always going to be this need of, I don't fucking know.
Yeah.
Especially post-uni, especially if you are the kind of person that lived a life that you went to school, you went to college, you went to uni, you got a job. Because at a point it's like, oh shit, I don't know what the next step is. Because the next step actually hasn't been written. It's not up to you to start being the author of your life and actually start writing it. And for the longest time, it was kind of written for you. In the worlds of Natasha Bedingfield, the rest is still unwritten.
Word.
Feel the rain on your skin. No one else can feel it
That
for
is
you.
such a banger.
Only you can let it in. No one else can speak the words from your lips.
Ooh.
Okay?
Poetry.
But in all seriousness, right? I just like, this feeling is not going to end. Don't start it now. I promise you, it's not too old for anything. You, not only are you in law and, okay, cool, it's not the exact path you want it to be, but eventually it will be. There was a time in my life I was writing for a nuts magazine. And I'm not talking about ball bags nuts. I'm talking about actual peanuts and almonds.
Oh, damn. I thought you meant nuts.
No. Like I was literally...
like cashews.
Nuts, cashews. There's not a thing I don't know about macadamia nuts. I know all of these knowledge. I don't give a shit about nuts. But it was like...
Hey, take that back.
It was to get to the next thing. There was another time in my life I was working for an over 60s magazine called Life and Living.
Sheesh.
I used to call it Dead and Dying. It was a subscription magazine and every time you called for them to renew, they had died. And that was my life. And I was like, what the fuck am I doing? And I think it probably might have been, around the same age as you were. And I just knew that I'm doing this now to lead to the next thing. It's all about like what like chapters in your life. This is what it is now. Just you've got a loving partner, you've got a roof over your head. Yeah, things are not ideal, but I think it's really important that you rest on the good things. Because not only are you doing law, you're doing a side project of doing Pilates.
Yeah.
Yes, it might not be something you're able to do all the time, but you are giving yourself options. And I think you should trust in yourself to give yourself options and be like, it will actually be okay. And if it's not okay, it's not the end. As long as there's life, there's an option to start again. I don't believe in an age of being like, oh, this is it. If you didn't start it now, then you're finished. You see all the time when people are like, this person didn't open their first thing until they was 40. And this person didn't start their business until they was 65. And like you see all the time, as long as there's life, there's time.
Yeah.
So if you want to, I remember one time speaking to someone to be like, oh, I don't know what I'm doing in my life. I said it so many times. And the person was like, if you went to start again now and go be a doctor, you've got more than enough time. Like I said, you could, and I say doctors because one of the longest things to do in education. Like, it's fine. I know it feels really, really bad, but it's fine. You are working it out. Life isn't sometimes about going through it. And as I'm talking to you, I'm talking to me. You are going to be fine.
100%.
And that's my advice.
That's beautiful advice. Thank you for taking it away because I was lost. I passed the baton and then you took it to the finish line.
Do you know what it's about them? The thing is, I understand it, but it's and often people tell you to be like, oh, but don't worry, everybody else hasn't got it figured out. Because I'm not someone, I don't take comfort in knowing people are doing worse than me.
Yeah.
I've never been that person.
I've had to unln that because I was heading that way and I was like, well, they're not doing that. And it's like, no. That shouldn't be predicated, is that the word? on what I do.
Yeah.
This is my journey.
It doesn't comfort me.
Exactly. Like this is my journey. I shouldn't have to get comfort from knowing that other people are
worse
down.
off.
Yeah, like
exactly.
I feel like that's actually quite.
And that's everyone's go-to. If I'm like, I don't know what. Like I say, people say to me all the time, oh, babe, some people don't even have a job. Or don't worry, some people are married, but their husband hits them. Girl,
that is not an option.
That is not.
Yeah, that is.
Making me feel better.
Yeah,
about
that
what
is
I'm going
not.
through.
Exactly.
Like,
yeah.
It doesn't comfort me because my part is that, like, in fact, that makes me a bit sadder that people are in that situation.
Yeah.
But some people are doing good.
Yeah, exactly. Some people are doing good. And then, but because I was going to say something that would just contradict everything I just said.
No, go
But
for
I
it.
just feel like it's a part of life. I
It
just
is
feel,
though.
I genuinely feel like this bump in the road,
Yeah.
like, and I know, you know, we can refer to it as like a quarter life crisis or whatever. Like these things are real. And I feel like sometimes, like, that's why sometimes I don't really like those titles. I feel like once you know something exists, you kind of start to internalize it and manifest it a little bit. So like, I feel like the fact that the age 25 kept on coming up, I think she low-key feels like she's having like a quarter life crisis. But you know, that that saying aside, it's just life. Like what Tolly was saying, it's just life. You're gonna have bumps in the road as you get older. They may get worse. Do you know what I mean? You may face bigger crises as life goes on. And I think that everything that you do now is going to fully equip you to handle things better as you get older, as the problems get bigger, because they just will, because that's just how life goes. But I just think it's very normal. I also think that in your early 20s, it's very normal to not know what you want to do or to not be exactly where you want to be. And I feel like sometimes for people that have like a very specific goal, when they don't meet it, it feels like failure. But like, no, like you haven't failed at anything. You're going through the motions. Do you know what I mean? So give yourself some grace.
Yeah.
Give yourself some grace.
And have a good time.
At 25, I was...
what were you doing at 25?
Fuck all, mate. At 24, I didn't have it together nowhere near as much as what you do. I was very much still living at home. I didn't know what I was doing with my career. I was basically a failed journalist. Like, I just didn't know what I was doing, and I was just cracking on and just hoping that something stuck. You know? It's just part of life.
And look at us now.
And exactly, look at me now. Look at us now. Living life. I'm joking.
Oh, well.
But I'm not, but you know, I'm also not joking.
We're also going to. All right, next dilemma.
Next dilemma? Okay. Hey guys,
Hello.
Love the podcast and was wondering if you could help me with this one. This is a platonic male-on-male friendship, but I wanted to get your advice based on your perspective, if that's okay. Of course it is. We're both in our 20s and have been friends for a few years, and our friendship only grew stronger. The two of us grew closer late last year when we was doing a job he hated, and we ended up speaking about it on the phone for hours on end, sometimes into the late hours. He also had an issue with our close mutual friend, and I was the only one in our group that stood by him. So just for context, we're pretty close. Since then, we call or talk pretty much every day and always had a date in the diary for when we would meet next time. It wasn't a planned thing of we need to do this. It just naturally happened. However, he recently is in a new era of his life and he has met a lot of cool people and is living life, as he describes, as the life I've always dreamed of as a teenager. I was so happy for him when he said it. However, when we hung out with our mutual friends recently, he also invited one of his new friends. And as soon as we went to the venue, he ditched us and only spoke to us when the other friend was preoccupied. He also now takes much longer time to reply. And I have been the only reason we even have days to hang out. I feel like I'm losing him, but not sure if it's something to wait out. He has also started an even bigger dream job that we have spoken about for years, so is even busier now. I can't express how happy I am for him, but I don't think he really cares to discuss how it's going, as when I asked, he said it was good and that was that. Granted, it was the first day and he was probably exhausted, but he has not texted me nearly as much as he used to, both before he got the job and after. He mostly calls to ask for favours and we don't really talk for as long as we used to. He's also not the best when it comes to communication, as when I do have an issue with him, he tells me that if he has a problem with me, he will let me know, which is true, as he has done so every time he did have an issue. But this isn't really feeling like a problem with you thing. It's more of a you aren't my priority type of thing, which sucks. I'm not sure if I should speak to him or wait for him to realise how he has made me feel. And if I do speak with him, what do I say? I really don't want to go from being close friends to catch up friends, nor do I want to have an explosive argument that ends it all. He's like a brother to me, and I'm really not used to being friends with someone as traditionally masculine as him. And also, just FYI, I've had a long thought about whether this is more than platonic on my side, as many people have suggested it. I promise the thought disgusts me, no offense to him, as I've seen him completely naked multiple times and I've never felt a single thing. Sorry for that detail, but I feel it is important, as a lot of people come to that conclusion annoyingly. Please advise if you can.
This is so cute because it's not cute, but it's cute. I've never heard a man like be vocal to be like, hey, I feel like I'm losing my friend.
And just vulnerable.
Yeah, and be so vulnerable about it, because normally it's like, oh, it's cool in it, like, it's just busy in it, whatever. I think because, like you said, he's been the type to be like, if he has an issue with you, he'll tell you that. So clearly you guys can communicate problems without there being a fallout. So I think that's good that you guys have a relationship that can do that. I just think it's your turn to be like, hey, like, bro, I know you've been busy and stuff, man, but it feels like we haven't properly caught up. Like, even if it's a thing that you do, I don't know, I saw this cutest thing where these bunch of guys were like, they meet up and go gym every morning and that's their thing. That's how they think. Like, even if you like do a thing that is a reoccurring thing, so you just know that, like, I don't know, if he works in a central part of the city, you go meet him after work on like once a month or whatever. But just be like, oh yeah, bro, like I miss you, man. Like, as in, feels like we haven't caught up properly in ages. I know you're busy with work and your new friends, but like, hey, your old phone is still here. Hit me up.
Yeah, definitely. I think this is all down to communication. I feel ultimately you miss your friend and it is quite sad. And it happens. Like, you know, when you have a friend and you do everything the same, like, you know, and you have a very specific dynamic for your friendship and then suddenly it just changes. And it's hard, like, and it's harder for the person who is still in the routine of it all. And the person who has this new lease of life or has these new friendships or has this new job, like in this case with your friend, it's easier for them to just crack on because they've got other things that they're focused on. Whereas like you're kind of just left to your own devices to think that it's a you problem or it's something that you've done. And from what you're saying, it's definitely not a you thing at all. I don't think that he loves you any less. I don't think that he values your friendship any less. I think that he just has less time and it's kind of trickling down and it's affecting you. And I think that you should just let him know. I feel like because you are so close, he probably just expects that you just get it.
Yeah.
And I feel like sometimes, you know, we can take for granted that our friends just give us grace. But if it feels like it's gone beyond like the grace period, then yeah, absolutely sit him down and speak to him and just be like, this is how you're feeling. Exactly what Tolly said. Just like communicate with him and then see like how you can fix it because I don't think he's aware that you're feeling this way. And I don't think that you need to question whether it is more. You just miss your friend. I feel like we live in a world that doesn't allow men to have these kind of friendships and feelings without assuming that there's more to it or just assuming that like, you know, there's feelings attached. Like I am not getting that. Like you said in the beginning that you guys are just friends. You haven't said that there's any feeling. So don't let people get into your head with that. People just can't fathom the idea of men just having healthy friendships because we don't see it very often. But yeah, I think that the only thing that you can do is just to let him know how you're feeling and then just based on his response, take it from there.
And sometimes it sucks being the one that's left behind, right? Because the person who is not left behind is so excited about all the things they now get to do. Like he's living his dream life that he said he's always dreamed about. He's got his dream job and he's excited. So it might not even be because he cares less about you, whatever. It's just like finally everything he's been waiting for has now come and he's just been like hyper focused on that.
Yeah.
So I do think there was a world where to give that person space to enjoy that as well, but still be like, hey, I'm still here, whatever. How offended are you by being the friend that always reaches out? It doesn't offend me that much.
No, it doesn't really offend me. It depends on the friendship. Because I understand that friendship comes in waves. Like there's just going to be times where sometimes you're making more effort.
Yeah.
There's going to be times where the other person makes more effort. Like when it comes to my friends, I always give the benefit of the doubt. Like that's my saying. Like,
I don't go straight to the hate.
My first thing isn't if I have not done anything to somebody, why would my first thing be to assume something negative?
My God, Audrey, do you know how much of a big thing that is?
It's so annoying. It's just like I haven't actually done anything. So unless you feel like you have done something, there's no reason to take on a guilt for. My first thing is honesty. Do you know what? I realized that it actually goes deeper than that. Like say something happened, yeah. Say I'm supposed to be meeting someone somewhere and they're mad late. My first thing isn't even to be angry. My first thing is, oh my God,
are they okay?
Is everything okay? If I go on your stories and I see that you're taking selfies, I was on. Do you know what I mean? But like for the most part, I always assume like everything other than me first.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like my first thought is never to be like, oh, well, they're doing this to me, they're doing that to me, blah, blah, blah. But that's because I feel like I've got really good friends. So
and also I think it's so fucked up. If someone does things, I literally was having a conversation about this yesterday. If I do something that is not normal for me, if let's say naturally I'm always there, I'm always showing up or whatever, and then you realise it's a season that I'm just not. The fact that you go straight to, oh,
they don't like me.
Like, hey, what's up with you? Rather than being like, oh, it's because you hate me. Like,
exactly.
It's got fuck all to do with you. Like, someone could be going through the worst months of their lives, but you're convinced they're being funny with you.
Yeah.
Brother, they are going through it.
People are going through
But
things.
in your mind, like, why should she be funny with me? I just know she's being funny with me. Sister has not bathed in 4 days.
Exactly. Yeah.
What issue she's being funny with?
Because people know that that's what they would do. Do you know what I mean? So I just feel like it's a projection thing because that they know that that's how they would handle it. But not everybody handles things like that. Like some people retreat, they become reclusive, whatever. And I just never think that. My first thought is just never
that thing
think.
was one of the reasons why I left BuzzFeed. I will never forget, like I was just off at work for a couple of months. I remember like my manager sat me down and she was just like, you noticed that you've been off, we're going to put you in a disciplinary. And I was like, no, I actually quit.
Yeah.
Because who the fuck are you talking to?
Yeah.
And also, I've never been like this. I've actually always been on jobs. So should your first thing not be, hey, are you okay?
give
We've
people,
noticed
people
that
grace,
you've been a bit not as active at work. You're doing this normally. Are you okay? Clearly, you don't give a shit. I mean, it's a work, so I don't know why I expected that. But like, that's always my first thing. Yo, you good? And if you're telling me I'm gonna leave it dandy, then be like, okay, you're being funny with me.
Okay, yeah, exactly.
But
so talk to your friend.
Talk to your friend, and it's okay that you miss your friend. And I also don't think you have feelings for him either. I think it's just I miss my friend. And you got used to habit of we always talked at this time, we met up and all things like that. So message your friend and be real. Yeah?
Yes, sir.
Next dilemma. Hi, ladies. Firstly, I just want to say how much I love your podcast. You were the first one I ever really got into back in 2020.
Ooh.
And I haven't missed an episode since. You've been my comfort, my cries, and my group chat on the go. So thank you for all that you do. Thank you. I've got a dilemma I'd love your take on. I've been seeing a guy for over a year now. He's lovely, sweet, thoughtful, attentive, would move mountains for me. I genuinely enjoy spending time with him, but I'm struggling to commit fully. And I don't know if my concerns are valid or if I'm self-sabotaging. Here's the thing. I'm unsure if he's a strong leader. I feel like I'm more ambitious than him and excelling in my career, making significantly more than him. Although he does work and is making progress in his career and finances, it feels like it's largely due to my encouragement. I worry I'll end up being the one nurturing, pushing, and planning, and that I might resent that later. Also, I've had to grow up quickly in life, and I tend to stay calm and solution-focused even in tough situations. He, on the other hand, can get flustered by small things and often over things. I crave a soft life. I want to feel like I can lean on my man and not always have to hold everything together. And yet, he's one of the kindest men I've ever met. After coming out of a toxic, abusive relationship, his softness and care is new to me. And I wonder if my doubts are just trauma responses or fear of accepting a love that feels safe. Please help a confused girly out.
Ooh, this is a tricky one because I see both sides. I see why in a relationship situation you would want someone that's kind of equally yoked, especially when you've got a goal of the kind of life that you're working hard towards achieving. Do you know what I mean? So like she's mentioned that living the soft life is very important. She wants to be financially stable. And I'm guessing what she's saying is that she wants a partner to kind of meet her where she's at. And in terms of that side of things, he's not there. But then the other things that we absolutely need out of a relationship, which is kindness, which is understanding, which is, vulnerability, he's able to provide those things. So I think that like, it would be nice to have a world in which all of those things existed. And I think that they probably do in some men. But for me, if you want my advice, I think that the other things can often be worked on.
Well,
do you know what I mean?
I'm staying with that man.
Like, bro, like, I think things like motivation and career and all of that. I think that all of that stuff can be worked on, especially if you say that this person possesses the qualities which make him kind, which means he's probably going to be a good listener, which means he's someone that's eager to please. Like eager to please. So for me, I'm always going to value someone that puts me first, someone that's kind to me, especially when you've come out of a toxic and abusive situation. And then to enter something where someone is the polar opposite. Like me personally, I really value those things. Like I actually really value someone that allows me to shine, allows me to do me, that can listen and hear me out and be supportive, and that can treat me with, handle me with care and all of those things. For me personally, those things are far more important than the other things. We can figure it out. We can work on it. Like I can motivate you. I can help you with your CV. Like, because I just think that those things are, I don't know, I just think that they're more important.
I needed to get from you. There's an internet full of motivational speakers.
Yeah.
Please. I will listen to CEO with Steve Bartlett. Please. I'm sticking to I'm not leaving him. I'm like, do you know what? Here's what it is. You have to realize what it is you value more.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we all believe that we're going to get all these things from one person. I don't think that is possible. I don't think it's possible for one person to have all of the things to see to all your desires, which is why I don't believe in making you a partner your all. There are some things that I get from this person and I get from this person as well. So I think if this is the kind, you said this man would move mountains for you, decide what's more important to you. Is it the idea of being soft, or is it the idea of that you're with someone who genuinely cares about you, loves you, and is actually trying? If you were like, he's a bum. He doesn't do anything. He doesn't blah, 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 blah. Pick your fight. I think so often, because we are so used to the world, the internet, socials, film, whatever, telling us that here were the roles that everybody plays. So if your role and your dynamic is different in your relationship, you feel like you guys are not doing it right. because you've maybe been told that he should be the one that has those kind of like, oh, I'm the man and I'm the one who earns this or whatever. So you feel like because yours is the opposite way, that yours is not right in some way, shape or form. And I'm here to tell you, if it feels right and good to you, it is right. I do think you have to consider, you get this, but at what cost? Like you might never get this high flying career man. You might have to be that, okay, my role in this family, my role in this relationship is this. But you know what a trade-off is. And if that trade-off of like, he's so kind to me, I know he loves me, I'm safe. My biggest thing is if I feel safe and I work at 10 to 2.
Yeah, exactly. That's the same with me. And I honestly think a lot of these fears that people have is because we're regressing and back into this whole trad wife thing.
Do you want a soft life, or they tell you that you want? What is it?
These
What's
gender roles, like we're actually regressing back into that, and actually like what really is important is finding a man that is kind, caring and vulnerable and all of those things. Like honestly, because you're working for you. Do you know what I mean? Like at the end of the day, everything that you're doing in your career, you're making money for you. I feel like you have to kind of stop looking at it as like you're jumping the gun kind of thing. Like you're thinking about, and I get it, like you're planning for your future and all the rest of it. But you've got to remember, when people make it sound as though women having careers and stuff is in spite, it's like it's this spiteful thing that we have to do because we hate men and we must. Like, no, some of us actually are working because we love our careers. Like we've worked hard for it. Like we want to work. Like we want to contribute to the world in this way. Like we want to earn our own living. Like not everybody is working because men ain't shit and we have to fight. And that's also very true, by the way. But we're not all fighting and working and having careers because the man ain't shit and we have to work and we have to, like, you actually, I'm sure you love your career. I'm sure like you're successful because you've put in the work. It's got nothing to do with any relationship. So you doing these things, like stop looking at it as like something that you're doing for your relationship. You're doing it for yourself first and foremost. Do you know what I mean? So
but also all of that chat aside, right? You have to be okay that in your family, if you do have kids, if you do progress, you are going to be the one that is the regulator, the one that does things. And that's why I say at what cost?
Yeah.
You have to be like, okay, I've decided that this means enough to me that I don't mind being that person. Because you're like, you've always been that person, blah, 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 blah. But you might be like, I don't actually want to be that person ever again. And that's also valid.
Yeah.
But I think if it's, I would choose, because again, you're not saying he's a bum, you're not saying he's not working, you're not saying he doesn't help, blah, 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 blah. He's just not maybe as you, like, I can't think of the word, but just like put together and as you want him to be. But sometimes people who are put together, then don't possess the softness and the kindness and to be vulnerable because they're so together as well. So pick a side, but at what cost?
Yeah.
Is what I'm going to say.
And I'm not saying that those men don't exist, but they are rare. Do you know what I mean? Like this, I even think it's less than 1% of men that people are fighting for. Like you really, and I keep on saying it to you people, you think you're going to find someone that is quote unquote alpha, hyper masculine, and paying all the bills, generous, kind, will happily support your career,
and
will come home, has all the time in the world, will come home and put the kids to bed, it's not going to happen. Like it's kind of one or the other. Like you kind of have to like either be happy with meeting in the middle and everybody playing to their strengths, or you have to be happy like really being in that submissive role. And people don't get it. Like people don't understand that it does come with a trade-off. Like you think that this guy that is like, you know, going out and earning all this money and he's hyper successful and he's all of this and he's traveling the world all the time, he might not have the tools or the physical time to give you all the other things that you might desire. It's just not going to happen. Like, and if those men do exist and they're progressive and they're understanding and they value women's issues and all that, like if you find a man that's got all of those things,
one that works all those hours is doing big mistakes and then comes back and cooks.
And comes home and cooks and comes home and cooks and puts the kids to bed and then lets you go off. Like I listen, I like to live in the real world, me, and I just think you have to pick your battles.
I don't think there's a human being that's able to do it.
We're not all together like that. We don't all have it together.
I saw this video the other day and everyone was like hailing this. It was a marathon runner, I thought a runner, and she mid her run, she was like breastfeeding her kid, and people posted a picture being like, "Oh my god, women are such superheroes." All I kept thinking is, why does she have to do that?
Yeah,
why could someone else go feed the kid?
Yeah,
I just could not understand that. Even if I'm running a marathon and my kid is crying, I shouldn't know.
Yeah.
Even if I'm out for drinks and my kid is at home crying, thinking about how to feed the child.
That's not.
Why should I have to be like, oh, women are so powerful? And it was just like, oh, this strong image of this woman. I'm like,
that just feels very.
Where are the people around her?
That's not sensible. Where's her village?
It feels stupid.
Yeah, where's her village at? But yeah, just pick what's most important to you. I totally agree with that.
All right, next dilemma.
Next dilemma.
Let's
Okay.
go.
Hi, lovelies.
Hello.
I came across your podcast last year and I've been hooked ever since. You two have been making me laugh on my bus rides, gym trips, and as the oldest daughter, you really are my online big sisters.
Yay.
I pray for more success and happiness in your lives, and may the Lord bless you with all you desire.
Amen.
So to my dilemma, I'm a Nigerian girl from Ireland in a long-distance interracial relationship with my white boyfriend who lives in Scotland. We met online and we have been together for 9 months now. He is my first boyfriend and he genuinely makes me so happy. I'm a practicing Christian, and although he is not, he asks about my time in church, always encourages me to journal and keep up with my assignments, buys me gifts and supports me through everything, all while being long distance. We were only dating for a month before he stayed up with me as I stressed and cried the night before results day. Call it young and naive love, but this boy means the world to me. Aw. However,
Let's hear it.
I hope you did it.
No, I feel like we didn't do it properly. Let's just go.
Yeah.
However,
I hope you did it.
we did.
The problem is, my mum has always been vocal about her dislike for interracial relationships since I was little, and I have no clue what my dad thinks about
She
relationships in
should have dated
general.
white man then. It's fine.
Exactly.
Please leave me alone.
But I imagine he has a similar opinion. I vividly recall her disgust when we would drive past a couple in a car and how she would shame or speak down on the black person in the relationship with my siblings and I. I remember trying to bring it up during Christmas time and she directly told me, I don't want them in my family. I'm a racist.
Oh.
Recently, it was my 18th birthday and my boyfriend flew down to see me for the first time. For context, I'm in my first year of uni and I live away from home in a shared student accommodation. He was only meant to stay for 4 days, but extended it to a week because we were really enjoying each other's company. On my birthday, however, my mum showed up randomly as a surprise and it was so stressful.
God.
I texted my boyfriend to quickly remove his things from my room. And being the understanding person that he is, he did it with no fuss at all. The poor boy sat in the living room as me, my mum, and my little sister walked in and out pretending not to know me. That is a real one. Eventually, my friends arrived. So he went downstairs to hang out with them in a different part of my accommodation. What was even worse was my mum had planned to stay over the night. Oh my God.
Go away.
Which couldn't happen because my boyfriend was staying with me. So I spent most of my birthday stressed out of my mind trying to convince her to leave. I don't want to sound ungrateful, but my mum has a history of making my birthday more about her and what she can post and share to her friends. So I wasn't thrilled by her appearance. But that's a whole other personal pain. That whole experience was horrible and I hate lying to my mum so directly. I already have a pretty rocky relationship with her and my dad, classic overly strict Nigerian parents. Part of me wanted to tell her about him right there and then, but I know that would ruin any chance of her being accepting if she discovered him there already. I really don't know what to do. I feel like it's time to open up about my relationship and have no idea how to go about it. I'm so terrified for their response as before I left for uni, they threatened to stop financially supporting me. So I'd be forced back home if I did anything they didn't agree with.
Oh.
Note that they never wanted me to move away to the point my mother prayed the night before offers, but I wouldn't get an offer from the uni. Damn.
God.
If we weren't long distance, I think I would be fine with keeping it hidden a little longer, but I want to be able to go see him freely or vice versa. I'm already so familiar with his family and I want the same with him and my family. Another thing to note is he isn't currently in school and as he dropped out due to severe bullying, but is starting college in August to gain those qualifications. This doesn't matter to me as we are young and need time to figure life out, but you know how Nigerian parents are about studies. Apologies for the length, but I'm in desperate need of some advice. Thank you for reading. Have a blessed day.
So, but do you people not lie to your parents anymore?
I know, man. Like, people are very honest.
It's like, my mum just wouldn't know.
Mm.
Like, I don't know if this is bad advice, but like, what is the benefit of your mum knowing about this relationship?
Mm.
Okay, the only thing is that, you're long distance, you want to be able to see him. So what happened to, Mum, I'm going to go see my friend that I met at uni that lives in Scotland. Like, lie. Like, there was no benefit to telling your mum. You know she doesn't approve because, like she said, I don't want in my family, I'm racist, which is wrong of her in many ways. It's not even just the kind of thing of, oh, I wouldn't do that. It's that I don't want you guys to do that, right? She's just so blatantly against it. And people like that, I'm so sorry, but there's some people there's no convincing, especially no convincing when it's, at the moment, you are young and this thing will end. She's not seen a seriousness that you might be seeing in this relationship. To her, you're 9 months in, you're a teenager, this thing... it's a phase. She'll get over it. But it's probably how she's going to see it. So what is the point of going through all of that bullshit for something she's not going to take seriously? She's going to be against. Lie. I'm so sorry. This is really bad advice.
Yeah.
But I'm genuinely being serious. If my little cousin came up to me to be like, hey, auntie, I'm going out with someone, but no, mum won't like them. This person's not dangerous. If it's the actual thing is, mum won't like them because they're white, I'm like, don't tell her.
Yeah, I totally agree. Where Tolly says lie, I just say omit, which is basically the exact same thing. But you know what? In all honesty, I agree. And I feel like there's other things, like obviously apart from them not agreeing with interracial relationships and your mum straight out saying she's racist, which obviously is wrong. I just think that you would also have to make sure that everything is in order before you even contemplate telling your mum. And right now, your mum's going to be like, let's just say your mum doesn't even have the visceral reaction that you think she's going to have and she's open to it. If her next thing is, what does he do? And you're like,
what's he studying?
He's dropped out, blah, blah, blah. I think that for me, and where there's also a condition attached to this whole situation, they've basically said they're going to stop financially supporting you. I don't think that now is the time. I would get my ducks in a row. I would make sure I have a part-time job. I would make sure that I have money saved, doing all of that whilst being in this relationship with this person, because you guys haven't been together that long. 9 months is not a long time. Do you know what I mean? So I would continue dating him. I would keep it to myself. There's no need to go and do up Usher and do big confessions. Not yet, it's too soon. Let him get his shit together, continue seeing him, because you might go and do this big revelation and then it doesn't work out. And then actually what you've done is given your mum more reason to feel the way she feels. What you need to do is carry on seeing him, developing the relationship, letting it get stronger, let him get on his feet. See if you guys can make it past a year.
See if it's worth the fight.
Yeah, past a year and a half. Once he's got his shit together, then you can go with something solid. You've got money backed up. You've got money saved up so that if this does happen, it does get to this point where actually you can't hide it anymore. At least you know that you can't be like financially blackmailed into going home. You know that like I was saying, that your boyfriend is like getting his shit together. He's working towards something. I just think that right now there's too many loose ends untied. And also, why do you want to go? Because if this was the other way around, I would be really angry at the person that was subjecting you to a racist parent. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Also, why do you want to put him? He's already been left college or uni because of severe bullying. Now, potentially, you want to go and tell your mum. The next step will probably be that your mum wants to meet him. And if he's put in a very like highly strung situation, it's not fair for him. Like, you shouldn't subject anybody to that when you know what your parents' views are. So I just think that right now it is way too soon to even contemplate. Listen, I dated people for years and I'd never told my mum.
I was going to say that. I dated people that I knew my mum would love. I don't know, maybe my family is different. I don't introduce men to my mum.
Neither do I. My mum's only met
generally,
two people.
the person I'm going to introduce my mum to next is the person I want to marry. Like, I can't imagine, mum, this is for what?
Yeah.
For what?
Yeah, it's just talk, just more talk and just more interventions.
And like you said, your parents are strict Nigerian parents. So it's not like they will be like, tell him to come round. It's not that. You want to do it for that freedom anyway. I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong. Have you introduced them to other partners before? Like, why do you...
I think she feels really strongly about it, and I don't want me to be patronizing by any stretch of the imagination, but when you're young and you're in love and you're like, this is my person. So she's thinking about the future.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And I think she's kind of like running before she can walk in the situation that I like this person. I've got no plans on leaving them. At some point, I'm going to have to introduce them to my mum. And I agree, but not right now.
Not now.
And I also think that sometimes like when people have such strong views on things, and you know that you're going completely against it. First of all, this is your life. I don't think that you should let your parents dictate what you do at all, like anyway. But that also needs to be something that is done in baby steps. It can't go from 0 to 100. I feel like people like that are so set in their ways in terms of like their expectations for their children and for themselves and their families. You have to ease them in. Like, damn, take them out to dinner first. Do you know what I mean? Like, you can't just go in. And again, I don't know whether you have told them about past relationships. My guess is that you probably haven't. So not only are you going to tell them that you're in a relationship, but you're in an interracial relationship, which they categorically like disagree with. You have to soften people up.
And also, the most you can do right now is just correct your mum when she says bullshit.
Exactly.
Right?
Start now.
Start being like, what you like? I don't know what it's been like in the past where she's pointed things out and been like, I don't like that. You have to be like, mum, that's like, start correcting her. That's on some bullshit. Like, you cannot say that. You cannot think like that. Like, and that's all you can do. I honestly can't exaggerate enough how I do not see the need to tell your mum.
And also, they're even long distance themselves.
It's unhideable. It's
like you're not at home.
So confused.
And then he's not even in the city that you're at.
Like, get creative.
Yeah,
I'm going back to uni early because we have to do, I don't know, bonus week.
Yeah.
Like, we're doing study week.
Yeah.
We're doing, maintenance week.
There's inset
Do your
day.
kids not lie anymore?
Do you still have inset day at uni? Because fam, I'll be running that. But yeah,
that's the problem with just ChatGPT. You have lost all creativity.
Yeah.
Do you know the lies
The stories we had to come up with?
And I was quick on my
the
feet.
plans. Yeah, inset day, isn't it?
I've gone on holiday before.
And said it's a work trip.
The country. And my mum thought I was at friends. Like I said, do you not know how I've...
Yeah, you got to get creative with it, man. Yeah.
What?
But you have all the time in the world, like literally, like
Hey,
your boyfriend lives in...
Don't do
your
that.
boyfriend lives in Scotland. So it's not as if like, do you know what I mean? Everything is overly pre-planned anyway.
Mom, I'm going work experience with this company that's in Scotland. Bam.
But you just talk to your mum and just be like, I'm in my room.
No, she said when they're on holiday, when she goes back home during like half term or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm doing work experience.
Yeah, you go. Don't also start listening going home. Listen.
I'm coming home this week.
You had to drag me home. Like I remember when I was in uni, literally, I'd be the last person on campus, and like even the librarians would be like, "Damn, are you not going home?" And I would wait till the last minute. Campus was clear. Like I would go home like Christmas Eve.
No, the same time.
Christmas Eve. And I would be back on the morning of the 1st of New Year's Day. Like I was not playing. Like, I was going back to my dorms, going back to my space. I just did not give an egg. Did you have some holidays in uni? Like 6 weeks?
We had a very longer than 6 weeks.
Is it?
Our exam time was like
How did
May.
I do? Damn it, man.
Do you remember once exams was done, you were free? It's because we started working. So you go home, but you'd be working. Or you'd go home and that's when you remember, God, this is hell.
This is hell. I'm going back.
Here.
I remember I took a year, like all my friends, where I lived, I was the only person that did film and TV.
Yeah.
All my friends did business. So because of their course, they did a sandwich course. So they had to do a year.
I did a sandwich course.
I did a year. Me too, I deferred my course.
You joking?
I deferred my course because I was like, I'm not going back early. So they can all still be in the house having fun. And I've got to graduate a year early.
What did you do that year?
I took a year off, I deferred, and then I went and did work experience, and I was at Northern and Shell. That's when I was working at OK Magazine and New Magazine, doing my internship there. And I was working at the same time. I worked in many retail places, but I was like,
not without me, buddy.
Not without me.
Yeah.
I'm not missing out on all the fun.
Like,
no
we're
way.
not encouraging you to do bad things, but I just don't think you need to. That's the thing. It's not lie, omit.
It's just don't tell them.
It's omitted if the mum hasn't asked.
Exactly.
And she said, hey, do you have a boyfriend?
Yeah.
No, you just want to go, blah. Mum, I've got a boyfriend, he's white, blah.
Exactly.
Like,
I just think it's too much confessionals. Yeah, I just think it's too much confessions. I wouldn't say a word. Like you, the amount of things that I kept from my mum. Like I don't actually think my mum knows who I am.
Wow.
She doesn't actually really know me.
So every Saturday morning, I used to go to my ex's house. Like as in, there wasn't a Saturday morning that I didn't wake up, do my housework and go to my ex's house. It was a time that we had every Saturday morning. And that whole time, my mum thought I had a job.
You were putting in a different kind of shift.
Well, my shifts were Saturday morning. There were times I left the house that my Pizza Hut uniform. I purposely didn't work on Saturday mornings just so I could go see this guy.
See?
And if I started at shift, it was at 3.
That's creativity. But I just think it's normal. Like, again, I don't want to encourage lying and all the rest of it, but I also think it's just normal when you have very strict parents, because how else do you live? How else do you have any kind of life if you're not, because I feel like they set the tone by being this way. So what is the options? The option is you live by their rules and under their thumb forever and do everything they say.
Look,
or you take ownership of your own life.
People listen to this, that's like, oh my God, that's such bad advice. How can they tell this girl this, whatever. But you lot don't know about wars. There's no point starting a war in your family for no reason.
For no reason.
I can't imagine just waking up and telling my mum something I know she's going to hate when I was that young.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if she says she's not going to give me money anymore.
Exactly.
Not me, buddy. She hasn't asked. It's not needed information. Do you tell her about all your friends that you have?
Exactly.
And again, we don't know if this is worth fighting for yet. If the fight is, I want my mum to stop being racist, fight that in other ways. Get her books to read. Like, show her a different world.
But I think that that's the way to start, because your boyfriend is white, and I think that you definitely need to ease her in to the idea of this. Do you know what I mean? So I definitely think you should check her anyway. Regardless, you should check her whether you had a white boyfriend or not, because it's not right that she goes out into this world with this kind of energy anyway. So absolutely check her, educate her. But yeah, I also think it's a soft launch into introducing your relationship.
Would your mum have been okay if you had a white boyfriend?
Yeah, definitely. My
My
mum
mum was convinced I was going to be someone white.
really,
Because when I
you grew
was
up in Essex?
younger, I was like, grew up in Essex, all my friends were white.
Yeah.
Like up until like,
Yeah.
all my friends were white. And I was like, I used just to reject so many like Nigerianness.
Yeah,
like
you're just trying to conform and fit in, isn't it?
Yeah, because so when I was younger, I wasn't allowed to speak English in my house. Had to, as soon as I got home, I had to speak Yoruba. My mum was like, you will know how to speak that language. Like I would ask a question in English and she would stare at me blankly. Like as in like, she doesn't know what she's saying.
Yeah.
And things like that used to piss. Like I wanted to be English. What kind of life is this? Like even my name, I was just like, can you give me an English name? What is this? Blah, 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 blah. Until I grew up and I was like, oh, wait a minute, this is great. But she was like,
and the thing is, they knew what they were doing. By instilling culture in us. But no, my mum definitely wouldn't care. My mum does, listen, so long as it's a male alien, even if it was a male alien, my mum wouldn't care.
Yeah, my mum was convinced.
Yeah, my mum wouldn't care.
Like the fact that I did it, I think still shocks her till this day.
Yeah.
But I think the blackness in me now shocks her to this day. The fact that I like willingly go to Nigeria because I want to. She's like, who is this kid?
Because before it was like a threat.
Oh my God, I used to cry.
It was like, I'll send you back home.
Let's go to Nigeria for Christmas. No.
Come to find out, Dirty December is a thing.
It's the best time ever. I wish I knew earlier. Right, next
dilemma.
Hi, Auntie Tolly and Auntie Audrey.
Aww.
First, your flowers and medals. Thank you for creating this podcast as it really helps me get through bus rides to school. You always make me laugh and I'm always looking forward to my Mondays and Wednesdays. Here's my dilemma. Oh my God, she's a baby.
Oh, no.
I'm a 14-year-old secondary school girl and is stuck in this silly situation. My friend, let's call her Pink, really, really, really likes this boy. And they dated not once, but twice, thinking it was going to work again. But the second time, it ended up being as bad as the first one, even worse. The boy, let's call him Green, knows that Pink still likes him and has repeatedly told me that he doesn't like her, but yet she still is gravitated towards him. Me, on the other hand, is watching this and is trying to be a good friend and tell her to leave Green alone. But of course, Pink doesn't listen. She's hard-headed, like a boulder, and very short-tempered. I also like Green and he knows and has said that he likes me back. But nobody else knows apart from me and my best friend and another really close friend. We have had some things going on here or there in the past, texting and calling, but not dating since we're not ready yet. Pink suspects that me and Green like each other, but I keep denying it since she loves him off. My question is, do I tell Pink that I like him without her exploding on me and cutting me off? She is my very first secondary school friend. And how do I help Green get her off his shoulder? Thank you so much for reading this and I really hope that you can get to this. Sorry if it's a bit long from a young, loyal listener. I'm smiling because like, this is
so cute. And I'm actually old enough to be your mum.
And also it's
actually
such
mad.
a school dilemma.
It's such a school dilemma.
Because there was very limited number of boys that were likable. So a lot of us ended up liking the same guy. But also, it is fundamental in learning girl code and learning what side of history you want to be on.
Exactly.
It's actually good that it happens to you at a young age, so you know what's right and what's wrong. And baby girl, you don't want to hear this, and this is the side I reside on, you cannot like Green.
You cannot. Green's got to go.
Green is,
Green doesn't mean go on this occasion.
No, it doesn't. Like, I get it. Like, but like Pink and Green are not together anymore. So why can't I like it? Honestly, it's happened to every single girl. And it's honestly how you decide what kind of woman you are.
100%.
And you pick a side at a young age and you ride with that for the rest of your life. But hey, you can pick to be like, I'm on the other side and I actually don't care. But I think in terms of forming who you are as a woman, I think it's important that you and Green don't do anything.
Absolutely. I totally agree. I was going to say, this is so sad and I hate that it has to be us that has to do this. But unfortunately, we have to be like your big sister stroke mom, stroke mum, mother figures on this occasion. And you're already an amazing person because you already listen to us. So you're already on the right trajectory of life. And I don't want you to go left by doing things that could potentially lead you to a road of destruction early. And I definitely think that, the best thing that you can do and something that we would always advocate for is to always choose your friends and your friends' feelings over a guy. And I know it's hard and there's going to be nuances in life as you get older that there may be scope in other
Sometimes
areas.
it's okay, yeah.
But on this one, because you said that Pink and Green, they have dated
Twice.
Twice. That is
Pink was your first secondary school
that
friend.
is your homie. Like that is your good
and
friend.
Pink is going through a heartbreak.
Exactly.
Right
She's literally, and then on top of it, now you're gonna come and
Now
say
you're
that my bestie's like, no,
Yeah,
babe,
no.
absolutely
No.
do not sit this one out.
Yeah.
These things will happen in life, and you have to
Yeah.
just override the feelings, unfortunately. And what you're learning here is a lesson in selflessness.
Yes.
Because although
And womanhood and
womanhood and
girlhood and
girlhood and woman
togetherness.
code and girl code and like, although you would want to, like the heart would want to, but your head has to rule in this
Yeah.
situation, and you don't want to lose a friend over a guy.
Yeah.
You just do not. And I'm sure that when Pink was going out with him, she confided in you about things to do with their relationship. So you already kind of know what kind of guy he is and blah, blah, blah. And also some guys have agendas. Like they have actual goals to like break up friendships and, they want to date people in the same circles and all the rest of it. And don't let him use you to be that person. And don't let them talk about you at school. At 14, you're in school.
Yeah. There's another world in years and years to come. You and Green see each other, you ignite this love and it's like, but for now, let's go for other people. The purple's still available.
Blue.
What's red saying? How's gold shining? Is silver sparkling? Diamond? Emerald?
Exactly.
Denim blue? But let's leave Green alone. Let Green and Pink be a thing that they were, and that's what it is. Let's not mix. No.
Let's not do that.
I'm saying this with all of the love and tenderness and the softness, and I really hope you receive it as such, because honestly, this happens in every girl's life.
Yeah, it does. It's normal.
It's
normal.
so
You're not a
normal.
bad person for having the feelings. It's what you do after that will determine whether you're... And it's mad because often, like when we have these, like now as grown women and we get that thing of like, oh, would you date your friend's ex or whatever? And that comes up and it's just like, yeah, if they dated when they were 14.
Yeah. Exactly. Whatever. But at 14?
But yeah. So maybe, like Tolly's saying, maybe in 10 years' time, you can look back and be like, oh, well, they dated when they were 14. And then if you want to go
Pink
through...
probably won't be in your life.
Exactly. Pink, you may not be friends with Pink anymore. She may have moved on and she might not give a shit. But I promise you, she probably won't give a shit about Green in 10 years.
She won't give a shit about Green by the time you guys get to college.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. But no. It's a life lesson that we're trying to
be on the
impose.
right side of history. It's a life lesson. Okay, so you're 14 now. In a couple of years, this will pop up again and you remember. So be like, oh, I remember that podcast I listened to. They said this.
Exactly.
And you will... But yeah, you've got this. Find another colour.
Yeah, that's okay, hon.
Yeah. And you don't want to be in the mix of a stupid little threesome.
No, not a love triangle at 14.
Pink hasn't even left Green alone, and he probably likes the attention more than he's making out to be. So,
and he might even go back. Like, you don't want to do ping pong. Like, don't be that person.
I want to kiss you.
Oh no, so cute. All right, next and last.
Next and last.
Dear Tolly and Audrey, please keep this anonymous. We always do. I've been an avid listener of your podcast and always admire the wisdom and empathy you bring to people's dilemmas. I'm writing in on behalf of a close friend who's going through a confusing situation, and I'd love to hear your take.
Sure.
We have differing opinions. So my friend was seeing a guy for about a year, exclusive, but never official, as it started off casual. What's the difference between exclusive and not official? But anyway.
Exclusive, but just dating each other. Official is that you are my boyfriend.
Okay, got it. Things started off really well. They had a lot in common and they genuinely enjoyed each other's company. It looked like a solid match. However, things took a turn when he suffered an injury from football that led to some mental health challenges. Since then, his behaviour has changed drastically. He became emotionally manipulative, constantly flipped arguments to make her feel like the villain, and refused to communicate properly, always blaming it on his mental health. One pivotal moment was around his birthday. They had discussed her meeting his friends, but no official plans were made. Then one day she sees a story of him out with all his mates, celebrating without her. When she confronted him, he brushed it off as a last-minute thing and offered no apology. Eventually, they broke up. He said he couldn't focus on dating while dealing with his potentially permanent injury. She started healing and even began looking forward to a summer without any arguments. Fast forward a couple months and he's back. He reaches out and says he misses her, wants to hang out, and he's been working on himself. He admits to the way he treated her and says he started therapy. He says all the things she wishes he would have said back then. Now he's asking for a second chance. She's torn. A part of her still cares, but she's finally getting her peace back. Should she give him another shot or leave the past where it belongs? I want to be supportive, but I've seen how upset she was before when she was with him and how manipulative he can be in arguments. Would love to hear your advice on this for her and maybe for all of us who've been in similar shoes.
Do you know, I don't know what to say.
It is a tricky,
happened before.
But do you know what it is? the first thing that came to my mind was, I'm not sure that I'm buying this whole injury thing. Did you just happen to have an injury around the same time that your true colours were coming out? Or can we blame it solely on your mental health due to the injury?
Or is it that he definitely had a career becoming a football player? He's injured himself now he doesn't know what the fuck his future is.
And
he can't play anymore. Maybe football was his way to like let things out. And even the thing of it was his birthday, he went out with his friends without her. Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
Like, initially I read that because I was like, what was it, her birthday?
Yeah.
Like, okay, I get our plans were different, but it was like, if your boy was like, let's do something quickly, like, again, you guys know, I don't believe in monitoring spirit when it comes to my partner. Like, I'm not monitoring spirit, buddy. Do as you please.
Yeah.
Free range here, like, as in, not do, do as you please according to the law of this relationship. But like, go out with your friends.
Yeah.
Look, the reason why I'm speechless is because if I was your friend, I'd give him another chance. So I don't know if that's advice. I don't know.
Yeah, I think for me it's hard because I'm conscious and I'm nervous that when he started to go cold and started to be funny towards her, that might have just been who he is, but he just happened to have an injury at the same time. Do you know what I mean? So for me, I'm nervous that she could end up, because it's been a couple of months and he's in therapy and stuff like that. I think, and listen, the work never ends. So I'm not, yeah, exactly. The work never ends. So I'm not sitting here trying to say he needs to be complete and whole and perfect before he comes back, because none of us are. Like, all of us are work in progresses and blah, blah, blah. But I just think that, like, she had gotten to the end of the breakup and she was starting to feel good. She was looking forward to summer, all of these things, looking forward to an argument-free summer. I think that's something to take into consideration. And also, and this is, again, people can change, I get it, but like, I don't know, like, you go through something, you go through a hard time and you take it out on me, the person that's kind of supposed to be there for you. Like, is this the way you're going to deal with things forever and ever? Amen. I think for him, it might have to be a lesson that, like, in life, when you go through things, like, you don't use people as emotional punching bags and you don't treat them like shit. And he may just have to lose a good one for him to learn the lesson. My spirit is telling me she needs to move on from this situation. Yeah, I think she needs to move on from this situation. But as the friend, I always think that the best thing you can do, the best position you can play, is just be supportive regardless. I think that, like, towering over her and pointing and wagging your finger and telling her she's wrong and she shouldn't do this, I actually think it's counterproductive. I think you need to let people make decisions for themselves, because even as a friend that's on the outside looking in, there's only so much like, I've been in relationships where it's like, the only time I'm talking is when it's gone to shit. And you don't necessarily talk about the good times. Things, you don't necessarily know about their good qualities and all the rest of it. So as the friend on the outside looking in, you've just got like a snapshot of negativity. He's a
piece of shit, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So I think that ultimately, your friend needs to decide for herself, like, what has she seen? And also, there's no rush to get back together and go back exactly where you were.
Back to relationship. Okay, cool. I miss you too. Let's see. Let's start talking. I think that's why it's one of them ones that, honestly, I think there's certain situations that only you can actually answer it. Only you that's in that thing can answer it. Nobody can be like, yeah, go back here, don't go back. Especially as you said, if your friend doesn't see it as it was all awful and she knows what it was or whatever. Okay, cool, he's come back now. No one's now saying drop all your summer plans.
Exactly.
And go back with your man and start ignoring your friends. No, what we're saying is that if you still love this person and think they are worthy of a second chance, then it should be, okay, cool, let's start again.
Yeah, definitely do it in baby steps.
Yeah.
And it's tricky because if it was actually your friend writing in, it will be hard to give advice even as the friend writing in and it's directly happening to her. But you're writing in on behalf of your friend who's going through it. Who's going through it. So there's so much context that we're not aware of here. And there'll be a lot of context that you're not aware of. Do you know what I mean? But I mean, I think that my spirit was saying that she should just forget about it. She's in a good space. She's healed. She's moved on. And you don't want to regress and go back. But at the same time, there is a grey area of which, like, she doesn't have to go full steam ahead with this relationship again. You can take it. You can do baby steps, like whatever girls' trips and outings or whatever it is you've got planned, stick to it. Whatever, like, don't let him come in and bulldoze your life and bulldoze your summer. Like, summer's still gonna run. I'm still gonna do me. We're still gonna just be seeing each other. I want to see changed behavior. I'm not just gonna like go straight back, dive back into a relationship with you for you to go back into old ways. I actually need evidence and proof that you have changed. If I see that you have changed, then yeah, we can take it to the next step. But so for me, it's either leave or take it very slowly with this person. But she shouldn't pick up where she left off with him. That would be my advice.
Oh yeah, and whilst the streaming platforms are listening, can we have Kevin Edmonds, Move It Slow?
Is that another song that's not on there?
Yeah, banger. Save the Last Dance.
Oh no.
Save the Last Dance soundtrack.
There's another song from the Save the Last Dance soundtrack that I don't think is on there.
What one?
That song that goes, hate the player, not the game. That was a banger. That was on
I love how people watch the same thing and say very completely different.
Yeah.
I've never heard that song in my life.
That was,
and I know I have because I've watched the film many times.
That was on Save the Last Dance.
What scene?
I can't remember. I feel like it was like towards the end, you know, where she was started to be integrated with like the hood life.
Yeah.
And she became friends with Chanel and all of that.
Yeah.
I think it was like around that time where she was like, you know, when they do a collage of like the practicing.
Yeah.
Before the big moment. I feel like
it
flashed up in around that time, around that scene. But I can't believe how bad that dance was. We thought she ate. Oh my God, it's so bad.
If you guys have any thoughts, views, opinions, or advice for anything that we read today, please feel free to comment.
Yeah.
As you know, you can listen anywhere and subscribe and watch us on YouTube. Please do subscribe and watch and listen and have all the fun and tell a friend to tell another friend. If you have any dilemmas, please email us at
dilemmas@thereceiptspodcast.co.uk.
That is
dilemmas@thereceiptspodcast.co.uk.
Or you can submit them on our website and that will come to us directly. Any announcements, any thoughts, views, anything you got to say?
No announcements.
No announcements. All right, honeys. We'll see you soon.
Love y'all.
Bye.